Hello everyone, and thank you for joining this World 3D webinar. My name is Nigel Fox and I'm the Business Development Lead for the EMEA region. I've got two of my colleagues joining me today. That's Sue Hitchmough, who's responsible for digital sales, and Ian Bethune, World's Head of Software Development. Today we're going to take you through 3D Mapping 101 and how to create a smart building. This webinar has been designed for anyone who is interested in 3D mapping, and you don't need to know any prerequisites about 3D mapping, as we're going to walk you through the tools and the processes to create your smart building. We have a simple agenda for you today. First, we're going to take you through a brief introduction of WRLD and our platform. Then we're going to take you through a tutorial as to how to create a smart building using the WRLD tools. We'll be using screen share for the tutorial so that you can better understand the step-by-step details. If you have any questions during the webinar, please write them down in the chat box and we will answer those questions in the Q&A session after the tutorial. Everyone will be on mute for the webinar itself, but please feel free to unmute yourselves when we get to the Q&A session if you have any queries. One final thing to note is we will be recording the webinar session. However, we won't be recording the Q&A session at the end. So nobody will be recorded when they're asking questions. Just a little bit of background. WRLD right now are seeing a huge amount of interest around our 3D digital twin, especially in light of current events and the global COVID-19 pandemic. We can see in the media that businesses are fast-tracking smart office and facility solutions within the workplace to better manage the environment for employees, visitors, and contractors. A lot of our partners and developers seem to be creating IoT and sensor-based solutions to support very diverse use cases around smart buildings. Hopefully you'll pick up some insights from the webinar which will encourage you to use the WRLD 3D platform, our tools, our SDKs, so that you can support your applications and bring your use cases to life. I'm now going to hand you over to Sue, who's going to talk to you about WRLD. Over to you, Sue.
Thanks, Nigel. Hi, everyone. I'm Sue Hitchmough, and it's really nice to meet you all on here today. So we're going to get started. Now, some of you may already know, but for those of you that don't, WRLD is a cloud-based 3D mapping platform for creating digital twins such as smart cities and buildings. And our platform empowers any developers to create interactive and immersive location experiences at scale using 3D maps and content management tools for web, mobile, VR and AR applications. Our platform provides everything you need to build an immersive location experience. Our user interface widgets help your users follow directions, make location-based searches, and navigate between floors with our range of UI controls. The information visualization APIs help you communicate multiple data streams clearly, enabling smarter and quicker decisions. Semantic map data bridges the gap between the physical and the digital worlds. Objects and spaces in WRLD are labelled in order to help your applications relate to their real-world counterparts. And our location intelligence services let you add features like asset tracking and seamless indoor or outdoor navigation. And with our self-serve tools, you can easily create your own indoor maps, manage points of interest, or POIs as we like to call them, and share these with your audience without writing any code. Okay, so this single slide shows the broad capabilities of our digital twin platform. So basically, we are saying that you can visualize and interact with everything on the planet. By connecting IoT devices to our platform, this turns everything into intelligent things and can help you monitor and manage energy usage and real-time transportation, for example. These IoT devices and intelligent things are also the foundation of smart cities and smart buildings. And by combining geospatial data and business intelligence, enables location-based services. This also allows for a connected lifestyle. For example, checking the availability of car parks. That's also possible with our platform. As you might know, GPS and other satellite technologies lack precision or even fail entirely inside a multi-storey building and any underground location. Therefore, integrating a third-party indoor positioning system to our platform, together with our own navigation system, allows you to easily locate people and navigate them to the indoor points of interest. Gaming with 3D maps has gained more and more popularity over the recent years, from web games to mobile games, and now certainly immersive games. And combining AR, VR, and voice-enabled technologies with our realistic 3D maps can definitely revolutionise the user experience. Okay, so at this point, you might be curious about what these features look like in WRLD. So let's have a look at our common features. This one is the object highlighting. People can visualise status in real time by highlighting objects in a semantic map. For example, building managers can monitor the temperature and humidity inside a specific area, and this is great for visualising data that has been gathered from IoT devices. The next slide is for visualising utilisation patterns. The most common use case is that employees can check which meeting room is available and which one is occupied at that specific moment in time. They're also able to see when the occupied meeting room will be available and reserve a time slot for it. This is great for understanding what spaces are used and when, and it certainly helps building managers to gain insights in helping with predictive maintenance and controlling energy and lighting within the building. This is spatial wayfinding, which is our navigation system. Have you ever got lost in a huge shopping mall or airport with many terminals? Nearly missed your flight? Yeah, that's happened to me. I missed my flight, waited for more than 24 hours to take the next flight. Not great on either time or money. At the time, I just wished that there was a detailed turn-by-turn instructions to navigate me around the airport, because it definitely would have saved my life. Okay, the next is a searchability feature. It is an open architecture, so you can freely integrate with other data sources such as autocomplete, auto-suggest and voice search according to your web and application needs. The next one is our 3D maps. So nowadays, users enjoy more immersive location experiences and so become more active in your webs or applications with all the immersive features. Geo-visualization is much more powerful than traditional dashboards, as 3D visualization provides the most accurate spatial foundation for understanding where assets, sensors, and points of interest are located. An example of sensor maintenance is where city administrators can quickly locate a faulty sensor and fix it without having to perform regular checks across the whole city and all of the sensors. Again, that can be really time consuming and quite costly for the company. So together with our 3D maps, heat maps helps your users to make sense of big data sets. This helps them to rapidly comprehend and gain insights that so often remain buried in a table of figures. Heat maps are great for circumstances where your users need to spot patterns and trends in a set of spatial point data. Whether the data set contains footfall levels, air quality measures, or temperatures, the heat map visualization helps your user to wade through it to arrive at a really valuable business insight. This one is maintenance reporting and tracking. You can easily and clearly find and track assets and asset status in real time through one visual interface. For example, in a big campus with many departments, students can find which study room has available computers with a specific software installed on it that they require. Again, these are some of the most common features, but they're not our only features. There's also many other amazing ones that we'd love you to explore. To realise all those features is not complicated at all, since integration with the WRLD platform is really easy. We have well-explained documentation for the cross-platform SDKs, and they're always available on our website. Also, our WRLD APIs are compatible with MapKit and Leaflet to allow easy integration with existing map frameworks. For Unity and iOS, you can simply drag and drop the world components into your project and no coding is needed. For JavaScript, only 4 lines of code are required to integrate. And as for Android, integration is quick and easy just using the Android Studio. Okay, so thanks everyone for your attention. My next colleague who's up is Ian. He's the Head of Software Development in WRLD, and he's going to walk you through how to create a smart building.
Hi everyone. In this tutorial, we're going to walk through the process of creating a smart building in WRLD. We're going to create a map scene to contain our smart building. We're going to show you how to add some custom points of interest with interactive embedded HTML content, and we're going to show how to link those to entities in the map via entity highlighting. Everything that I'm going to show you today uses the free design tools that are available to every user of WRLD, even if you're on the free starter plan. We'll be making the smart building accessible to users through our free web maps and mobile apps, so you don't need to create your own WRLD app to share your smart building with your users. If you want to try this for yourself, you can follow the steps in the video, and we'll soon be making a quick guide available on the website that can walk you through step by step. So the only prerequisite that's needed for you to follow through this tutorial is an indoor map created in the WRLD platform. So if you want to create an indoor map of your own, there are instructions for how to do that on the website, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to use one of the many freely available public buildings that exist on the WRLD platform already. So to start with, we're going to open up the Map Designer tool, which you can see here on your WRLD homepage. And we're going to create ourselves a new map. So Map Designer allows you to create what we call map scenes. Map scene is like the entry point for your users into WRLD. It allows you to set where they start in WRLD and for you to select what content is going to be available to users as well. So for this example, we're going to create a new map and we're going to call it My Smart Office, as that's what we're going to be creating. So we want to set the location where users will start. You can do that by navigating around, or you can search to find other locations in WRLD. And when you're happy, you just select Use Current Map View, and that will lock that starting location into your map scene. It's even possible to start inside a building. For example, this office building here, Westport House, which is what we're going to use for this example. But for now, we're going to start in a location just outside the office building. So we click Use Current Map View, and the location and the view settings are saved there. To see how that looks to users, we're going to take this map URL short link over here. So every map scene that you create has an associated URL that you can share with your users so they can access your content. So if we just copy that, and we'll open it up in a new tab so that we can see how it looks to users. So once the content streams in, you'll see that they're starting outside the office building that we're interested in. And by clicking on the Enter Indoor Map button, they can go inside and they can navigate their way around. So we'll leave that open for now because we'll go back to have a look at the content as we add it in the map scenes view. So now we have our map scene and we've set the initial coordinates. The next step will be adding some custom data to our map. And we do that using the Places Designer tool. So that's another one of the web tools available from your WRLD homepage. So if we go into Places Designer, and we're going to create ourselves a new collection. So places, or POIs as we sometimes call them, these are how you associate new data with your application. So we're going to create a set here and give it a name. We'll call it POIs for Smart Office. And we can associate it with the map scene that we created. So it was called My Smart Office, and we confirm new collection. Okay, and if we just pop back into Map Designer, we can see that the Poise for Smart Office has been created and associated with that map scene. So any content that we add to our Places collection using Places Designer will immediately become accessible to users who are accessing our map scene. So to show you how to add Poise, we're going to start with creating a meeting room. So we're going to create a new place marker here and drag it over to the meeting room that we're interested in. Let's just get rid of that extra one. So the meeting room point that we've created there, we're going to give it a name, and we're going to call this one Meeting Room 1. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to give it a tag to say what type of place it is. So there's a whole bunch of tags available, ready created in WRLD, and there's one for meeting rooms. And you'll see when we add that and drag it to the top of the list of tags, then the icon associated with the POI changes. Okay, so now that we've created that, let's go back into our map scene and check that it's available. So you access Poise through the search functionality, and if we just run an around me search, what we'll see is the POI that we just created for the meeting room appears in the search drop-down, and it's visible here. And users can click on it, and they'll see some basic information, the name and the tags that we associate with it. So now we want to add a little bit more information to our POI. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to add a custom HTML POI card. So this is our way of associating additional content with that POI when users click on it. So to do that, we just need to go into the JSON editor here. And we've got a user data field there where we can include additional data. So in this case, we're going to add a custom view. And this is just a URL for some content that's going to be displayed when users click on the meeting room POI. And we can also set the custom view height, so how much space is allocated to it when the POI card pops open. So this is the way that you can introduce your own content into WRLD and associate it with particular locations. So in this example, this is just a piece of static content served from a website, but it could be something much more complex, for example, a web app that pulls data in and displays it. So let's just go back into our map scene now and check how that appears. So let's run our search again, select our meeting room, and this time when we click on it, the POI card pops in and the HTML content we just specified is loaded. So you can see here there's some basic information about the meeting room, and we've also got an example of a calendar integration here. So you can see when the meeting room is available for booking or when it's occupied. So this here is just dummy data, but you could imagine in a real application, you could do something like integrate with Google Calendar or Microsoft Exchange Server to provide real data and also booking available. So you can add any interactive features you want in your HTML fragment, which is embedded here. So let's go back to Places Designer now and add some additional POIs. So we're going to add, this time, a person. So let's just put them over here. This person is going to be one of our employees, Oliver, and we're going to tag him as a person. Okay, and when we put that tag at the top, you see the icon over the POI changes. We're also going to add some custom HTML content related to Oliver, and so that's like a little person pop-up card that's going to appear when he's clicked on. And we're also going to add a POI for our WRLD reception. So we'll just name that WRLD reception. Again, we have a appropriate tag, which will set the icon for the POI, and we'll add our custom HTML content in the user data. Okay, so now we've got 3 POIs. Let's go back in to the map scene and have a look at them. So we can find them all via the Around Me search. If we click on the person and open the POI card, Again, we see something similar to the meeting room with an example calendar integration and some information about the person. If we open the reception POI card, again, we've got contact information for World and an example of a feedback widget at the bottom here. So this is just one example of the kind of things that you can include in POI cards to make your map more interactive for your users. And we'll also see while we're here that we can search via free text searches. So we see there it matches World Reception, but it's also done a category search as well for any reception POIs in the area. So there's various ways that users can find your POIs. So now we've got these created, we're going to show you how to highlight rooms and assets in the map. So this is a way of making your map a little bit more dynamic and make objects easier to find for users. So this is done again using the JSON editor in Places Designer. So we're going to go back to meeting room 1 and we're going to add a highlight in the room where that POI is located. So to do that, we need to add some additional properties into the user data. So in this case, we just set a highlight with the name of the meeting room. So every object in World has a name associated with it that you set when you create your indoor map. And in this case, it's called meeting room large. And what we're going to do is set a highlight color, which is just an array of red, green, blue, and alpha channel values. So this is going to be a transparent green highlight. So now we've set that, if we go straight back into our map scene, let's run our search for the meeting room. And we see that when we select it, we get this transparent green highlight appears over the surrounding room. Makes it nice and easy for people to see what the POI is associated with. It's also possible for us to highlight individual entities in the map, not just rooms. So we're going to show you how to do that by creating a desk POI. So let's start with a new marker here. And we're going to drag it over to this desk here. So we're going to give this one a name. We're going to call it my desk. And we're going to add some tags. So we'll add a desk tag. There's also some more specific ones. So we're going to add desk occupied. And when we drag that on the top, what we'll see is we see a desk indicator that has a red X on it, so we can clearly see it's occupied. And we also want to add a highlight. So we'll do that in a very, very similar way to the meeting room highlight by adding some information to the user data. In this case, the names of the attributes are entity highlight and entity highlight color. And the name of that desk is 0009. So now that we've done that, we'll be able to see that one when we do a search in our map scene. So we just search for desks. My desk comes up and we see this nice dark red highlight on the desk. One final feature I want to show you in terms of highlighting, it's also possible to associate a POI with a group of assets. So we're going to create a new one here for a group of desks here. So this is going to be our art department. And we can give them a tag, which will show that it's a group of people. And similarly to the single desk highlighting, we're going to add the entity highlight and the entity highlight color properties to our user data. So here, instead of just adding a single desk, we give a list of desk names 12 through to 15, and we're going to color them all with a transparent blue highlight. So let's just see how that looks. We'll run the around me search, which will show us all of the POIs that we created. So the 3 with the custom HTML content on the POI cards, and the 3 with the highlights. We have a meeting room highlight, a desk highlight, and a group of desk highlights. So that brings us to the end of the tutorial. So just to summarize, what we've done is create a map scene to give users access to our content. We've associated a places collection with that and added various different types of POIs to that places collection. We've showed you how to do tagging and naming of your poys so they appear in search, and how to link them to entities in the map with entity highlighting. Thanks for listening.